All right, y'all. So today we have a really special guest, one of my sister friends, Kiara Marsh. Now, not Janelle,
Yes,
but Marsh.
yes,
She
almost
married now, huh?
almost a year.
Wow,
Literally next week.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's so crazy. It's
Life
flew
life moves super fast.
so fast, like so fast.
How is married life treating you?
Married life's been great. We have a unique situation because we were long distance our entire relationship, and so marriage allowed us to live in the same city and house, and now actually the same country. So, um, so yeah, that's been cool, but it's been great. I mean, in marriage, you learn a lot about yourself, um, and we learned in our premarital counseling that your spouse is the one that's supposed to help you look more like Christ. So they're one of their jobs is to point out those things that are not like Christ. And so that's what we've been doing, and it's been wonderful. It's not always fun, but we've been having. I mean, we've been having a great time, especially and like it's you know we've been spending a lot of time together. Definitely sad circumstances with the pandemic, but we've been stuck in the house together, and it's kind of created an opportunity to just grow and just hang out more, which we didn't really get to do. We've definitely made up for lost time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did because I mean, with COVID going on, Rona is really changing everything.
Okay, like literally like changing everything. I think it's gonna be a really long time before anything really gets back to normal. It's just so crazy how fast, like, it was a progression, of course.
Yeah,
It's almost like it just changed everything quickly. And that's sad because we should have been changing, right? Like, we should
yeah,
have been changing how we were operating far more than when we actually did. And that's part of the reason we're in the predicament that we're in now, unfortunately. And even with us being in
true.
an entirely different country, like we're it's not as bad here, but we are seeing what's going on in the States. It's just sad. I just want everyone to just stay safe, stay healthy. Please practice that social distancing and wear your mask, everything, because it's just so important. Do not take this lightly at all.
Right. I feel that with everything changing so swiftly, this is a great like a great example of how God works because like he can switch it in 2 seconds and it'd be like it's all good today, and then he might take you through a process, and
Okay,
then and then you be all good on the outside. But
because you be having whole plans. Like,
you
you be having
do,
a whole entire plan. Like, please believe I expected to at least, hopefully spend my first anniversary on the beach.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not happening. So, yeah, God definitely laughs when you make plans. And I mean, it's just one of those things that, like life, you have to be able to adjust and readjust. So,
That definitely. I was just about to say, we all make plans, but that definitely doesn't mean it's going to happen. And growing up, we had to learn that the hard way. I don't know about you, but I had to learn it the hard way because I was definitely
okay.
a planner.
Yeah.
So like growing up, what did you see your life like at at this age? What did you think you would be doing at this age?
Oh, okay. That's a really good question. I definitely I thought I'd be like in a business suit every day.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I'd be, definitely working in an office, which I
Mm-hmm.
was, but that's no longer the case. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely, I mean, that's just, I knew I'd be doing something in marketing. And I knew it include writing. So
Yeah.
those things, I'm very blessed and fortunate that those things are true, but like, it's just in a different it's a different setting, completely different.
Right.
Um, yeah, I mean, aside from that, I thought I'd be married like 5 years earlier than when I actually got married. Uh, Probably thought I'd have a kid by now, but right, I mean, honestly, like, when you plan, you don't realize that God's plan are just so much better. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm grateful that that plan that I had for my life did not work out, because just reflecting, yeah, I thought I'd be married by 25. Was I ready to be married by 25? Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not. And even though I'm no longer in the office but I get to work from home. What?
Beautiful.
Like, like just the fact that, like, back then I thought I'd be, like, hitting the pavement every day. This is just, for me, has been so wonderful. Like, I get to explore another country, which is so cool.
Right.
And I mean, and of course be with my husband and everything. So yeah, it's definitely different. It's for sure different, but it's better. So just because plans don't always work out, it's definitely going to be better. God's plans they're always better.
I was about to say, I work with students. So one of the conversations we always have is like, when will my purpose come, or how will I know? I want to do this, this, and that, and I'm going to do it. Like, they be aggressive with it. Like, it's going to happen. I'm like, that courage is great. I love the persistence, but part of that is going to be a problem for you, because you got to know how to bend and flex when it comes to, like, the path. So can you tell me a little bit about, like, your path and how you got to where you are right now?
Okay, so I graduated college. Literally, that was December, and I was like, I want to move. I was ready to move to somewhere warmer. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I was like, I'm ready to go. I was like, let's pack these bags. And I totally missed my hometown, but those winters, I was
Y'all can keep that.
Yeah. So I ended up moving to Dallas, which is where we met. And of course you think, okay, I'm about to get this wonderful job, right? And it doesn't quite happen like that.
Right.
It does not quite happen like that. It's a lot more time invested in your job searching, and then there's a lot of denial that comes with that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I got the job, and then I lost the job. And that happens too. There's a lot of rerouting,
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I've been laid off, which was just so devastating for me, because in my job, I always give 1,000%, but you have to understand that sometimes it's just not about you. Like, it's not about, you can do everything you can, but if it's just, not a need. And so that's another rerouting situation where, and I'm grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that, because I know that you know the story that a few months before our wedding, actually, I ended up losing my job. And I was devastated, because I knew that I was eventually going to have to leave my job, because I knew we'd be moving, but I just needed that. I needed to keep it for that moment. And
you need that cushion money.
Exactly. And literally a few months later, I ended up getting the job as a marketing copywriter for TD Jakes Ministries and the Potter's House, which was my dream job.
Right.
And so the journey I will truly believe that's my purpose. My purpose is writing, and especially in this space, the faith space, and using that to leverage that. It's no longer about me. Everything I'm writing is making a difference in the world, and it's just so much bigger than me, and I love that. And I laugh to think about how bad I wanted to keep that other job.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing, like, my journey has been full of just so many, like, ups and downs, but it's the idea that you just keep going. You reroute, you readjust, and you just never lose sight of what you're supposed to do. If there's something in you, absolutely have that confidence. Hold on to it, because that's what's going to keep driving you. That's what's going to keep pushing you when you do hit those bumps, when you do lose that job, when something doesn't work out, when you don't get that job.
Right.
it's because that's gonna happen too. Because there
Oh
were
yeah.
jobs that I just knew I was perfect for, and I was like, "What? Wait, what? Wait,
I'm
what do you mean
qualified.
I'm a different candidate? I am the candidate. Like, what are you talking about? That doesn't work for me. That no." So there's going to be a lot of that. Just as in life, you hit all of these bumps, and you know, like it's. I mean, just so many unexpected things happen.
Yeah.
Just when I left Milwaukee to come to Dallas, did I think I'd end up in Canada?
She right back up north. Right back up north.
Literally just went through my first winter in like 8 years. Okay. So
Because we don't
yeah,
have
that
winters here.
exactly. And so when I say readjust, that's another situation where you have to readjust. And so that's really what it's about. That's how I got to where I'm at. And I'm not done. Like, I'm going to keep learning and growing. I'm so grateful for my opportunity in my job, because I'm learning and growing every day. And I just want to
Right.
continue to do that. That's what it's about. You know your purpose, and and you have to learn and grow in that.
Right. I'm a firm believer in your purpose is not a destination. And
No.
based on what you just told me, I feel like you agree with me.
100%. But that's the thing. I think when I was just starting off, I thought it was a destination.
We all did.
Yeah, like you think you're gonna reach this point where everything is just makes sense. You know, everything's aligned.
Right.
And it's like perfect, and you have this and you have that, and the love light's working out, and the job and the money is right. I've had some great jobs and the money wasn't right.
Right. Yeah.
I had one of my favorite jobs, other than where I'm at right now. I no, I was hardly making it,
Barely
but
making it.
that's another part of the journey, right?
Yeah.
That's part of it. So
Sometimes you got to take that detour because it's a character building moment. Like
absolutely,
sometimes y'all got to make sure your heart is right.
yes, it's so humbling, and then because I mean, like you learn how to manage that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to manage the small paycheck, so that when you get the bigger paycheck, you know how to manage that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, good steward.
so exactly, exactly. And then because you go through so many ups and downs, you save because you just don't know what can happen, right? So
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
That's what college taught us.
Oh
College
yeah.
definitely taught me how to well, my whole life has taught me how to manage a book. But college, I really was pushing it. So
Oh, absolutely. Like college, I didn't even know what a check really looked like. Like,
seriously.
I mean, it's like honestly, like money in your pocket was so rare. Like, yeah, you work over like I would, I had like a little on-campus part-time job, but like of course, like that was enough to maybe cover my car insurance.
Right. Yeah. I will say this though. College may have been the moment where we were the brokest. I can't even get it out. We were broke in college.
Absolutely.
And but I feel like those were the most joyous times. Like
You
the
were
people that we met. Yes, carefree.
like I reflect on that so much. Like I literally met like they're no longer my friends. They're just my family. Like
Family, yeah.
that's my family. Like I met them there. I had the best times that I legit will never forget, times that we still talk about, right?
Yeah.
My line sister just got married in February, and we were there, and I got to see, everybody, right? And it was just a big reunion. It was like, I remember this. I'm telling you, that college experience is just priceless.
It
You know,
is.
like, yeah, you worried about money, you worried about grade. There's a lot to stress about. There is.
There is.
But guess what? There's a lot to stress about in life.
There is. But you said something very, very clear. We were carefree.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a major key because when we get out, we have all these expectations about what we think is going to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when we start stressing and having issues. But
Mm-hmm.
when we're like carefree and we just let it be,
Yeah.
and be still, like
Yeah.
everything comes to you, it like gravitates towards you.
Yeah. Like,
Trying to make it happen.
yeah, like in college, I didn't really have bills. And so when I say like I was carefree, like grades and stuff, like, yeah, you worry about that, but like I was carefree in the sense where I wasn't like, I don't think I developed any sort of type of anxiety until after I graduated college, because that's where all the pressures came from. But when I think about how like carefree I was in college, you know, you stay up to however late, you get up in the morning, like when you think about that and how it just all worked out, those things that you do worry about or that you did worry about in college, like they worked out. It was a different level of stress, and you weren't stressing it that hard because it worked out. It's that blind faith that
that's it.
Adulthood sometimes takes that away. Like true adulthood sometimes takes that away. I do believe that.
I say that people have been robbed of their creativity. That's why I hold on to it so much. Like everything I do, I have to create, because to me that gives me the innocence of a child, like the mindset of a child to be willing to try anything. So me continuously putting my headspace in creativity allows me to be fearless when it comes to trying new things. So I think that's what we lose that once we become adults, you know.
Because everything is measured. Everything is, you have to do everything a particular way as an adult. And so, yeah, I definitely agree with that.
But who's to say that you have to do it that way, though?
That's the thing. Somebody made these rules, and we just thought, let's follow them, right?
Yeah,
you don't have to, but we was just like, I'm just gonna fall in line because that's what somebody told me to. Like, who made that? Who made that rule?
Society.
But it's like you reach a certain age where you realize you don't have to follow that. And I think right now, that's where I'm getting to that.
30s are the best.
Yeah.
30s are the best.
I was all afraid of 30. I was all like, oh, it doesn't sound as cool as my 20s.
Girl,
like,
bye. Bye 20s.
Yeah. Because 30, you do start to kind of be like, I don't have to color in the lines all the time.
Nope. You don't have to make everybody happy. You just need to figure out like what truly makes you happy. I mean, that's really what it's about. And like, what's your purpose? Yeah, what do you feel like God is telling you to do?
Absolutely. Because that's the main thing. That's why he put you on this earth. That's your primary goal.
What do you think? Well, what was your biggest challenge in college?
You know, I was involved in a lot. I was busy. And I had good grades, but like just balance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, the best sorority on the
best
planet.
The best.
No, exactly. So being highly active, I mean, president, VP, like just holding like chairs there. I was a co-coordinator for a group called Sister to Sister, which was a mentoring group for women, and we would have meetings every other week. That, and then just, I mean, I was involved in so many things, and so balancing that, and then also like grades, and then, you know, trying to hang out so you don't miss the experience. Like, I think just like any other college kid, like just balance, and then just trying to understand, like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Not just with this experience, because, you know, like you do a lot to kind of like help you understand adulthood. Like, I mean, in college, like they'd be like, check those emails. That's what you're going to have to do on your job. Like,
sure.
You do all of that. But what am I going to do with this degree? Because now, you know, I have all this debt.
It's real.
It's so real. What's next? That was another hard part for me, is really just because, like you, I'm a planner. And so I was like, okay, well, my plan is to leave Wisconsin. Okay. But tangibly, what are the steps to that? And
right.
you have to break in, because every job they want you to have some type of experience. But I've been in college for 4.5 years, so I don't have the experience. So what am I supposed to do?
Right.
So it's working through that. Those were two challenges I experienced.
Okay. So how did you even get to the point of like having enough courage to leave? Because like for some people, breaking away from everything you know to be your norm is like, I'm starting over. Like, how do I do this? Like, what in the world? What made you move all the way to Texas?
You know what?
Bottom of the map.
It literally goes back to that blind faith thing, that like adulthood just, like, I didn't know I was supposed to be scared. Like, I was like, I want to leave, right? That was all I knew.
I want to leave.
To leave. And so, and I mean, again, like, big ups to my hometown. Love Milwaukee, born and raised. But I knew, I was like, I want to go explore another city. Like, I want to branch out somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I had that in my head. I remember we had a family reunion actually in Dallas the year of that I was graduating, and I was like, I love it. I'm just gonna move. But again, like, I didn't know that was as big as it was.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Yeah, like, that did not compute. All I knew is that I wanted to leave. And honestly, when I reflect on it, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I really had a lot of nerve, like, literally to go there, to just start over. And I had friends, I had stores that, come stay on my couch, so it's also good to have, that type of support system. And you pay it for it, because I had friends who left too, and I did the same thing for them. So that's that's important, to just keep paying it for it. But like, I knew all of maybe 2 people, but that did not scare me. That didn't scare me. It's literally that blind faith where you just don't know. It's like a baby. Like, they don't know that that things are dangerous. They don't know that they should be scared about things. Like, it's that faith. It's that childlike innocence and faith that, honestly, I need to adopt that now more often in my 30s, because you go through so much in your 20s that kind of just siphons it away.
Yeah.
Like, you go through so much. And I mean, I'm not to say my 30s, wouldn't be like that, but like, it kind of takes it away, and I just start to be hyper vigilant about everything.
Right. Every time you reach like a new decade or a new era, I feel like it's a rebirth.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm turning 33 this year, and like, to me, I'm calling it Jesus year, because sweet baby Jesus was 33 when everything went down. But
everything went down.
like, when everything went down. But I think it's important for us as 30-year-olds to share our knowledge with the youth, especially the 20-year-olds, because they're lost. Like, they're seeking information, they're trying to find it, but they're finding it in all the wrong places, like Instagram, and getting like their validation through social media, and falling into peer pressure, and just self-esteem issues, depression, all of that, because they're drawing from sources that are not abundant. So what is some advice you would give to a 20-year-old like trying to navigate life? Like, what is something that you would just drop on them to help them out?
Well, first, don't try to copy and paste someone else's highlight reel, right?
Yes.
So don't get on Instagram, don't get on Facebook and just start comparing. That's how you run too fast. That's how you end up doing things prematurely. Just work on the schedule that God has for you. So I think that is so important. And remember, like, I think it's so important to remember, like, you are doing fine. You are doing fine.
You are.
Like, in your 20s, you feel so much pressure to achieve things because you want to, I mean, I feel like 30 is that landmark year. So you want to have everything done by 30.
Not realistic.
So unrealistic. Don't set these unrealistic expectations for yourself. Work at your own pace. It's going to happen. I promise you. I promise you. It's going to happen. I mean, get your support system together, right?
Yes.
Like, that's another thing. You all are going through things together. Talk to each other, lean on each other. That's another thing that's important. Don't be afraid of change.
Yes.
I struggle with that even now. Like, just, it may not look like what you thought it should look like, but it doesn't mean that it's not right. Like right. We said before, God's plans are far better than ours. His ways are, his thoughts are higher. So it's like, you have to remember, like, this, it might come in a different package than what you thought it should be, but you'll reflect on it from that point, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, how grateful am I?
Yeah.
That it wasn't what I thought. Like, how grateful.
Yeah. It's so much better when you just jump.
It's just it's so much better. And jumping is scary.
It is scary.
It's scary because you don't know if something's going to be there to catch you, but I guarantee you, you're going to land on your feet because God will catch you. You don't know. It's the unknown.
Right.
You have to find peace in the unknown. But that's a work in progress. That's not something that you automatically, you wake up one day and you're like, oh, I have peace in the unknown. Like, it does not work like that. That is an everyday just working to train your mind.
Yeah.
Train your mind, because that's anxiety. Right? That's where it starts. You start thinking things. You start thinking, I should be here. Why is this not working? Why don't I have this job? Why am I making this much money? And everyone else is doing this, and everyone, like, that's where that starts.
Right.
Train your mind to understand it's your pace. It's God's plan. Work at that. Like, and you can jump. You can do it.
You can. It's built through going through difficulties, though. Like, the more hardships you go through and you get through, the more confidence you build in, like, I know I can do it because I did it before, but it's about perspective. So, if you don't look at your troubles as a way for you to learn, you look at it as, like, I'm hurt again, I'm going to be in trouble again, like, that is going to cause you to miss the lesson.
It helps with resiliency.
Yeah.
It's that bounce back. It's definitely that bounce back. Like, when you go through all of these things, like, it's just, like you said, it's just letting you know you built for this.
Yeah.
You built for this, right?
Definitely.
And you have to fight, like, things that come easy to you. Don't
question it.
Okay.
They won't last. Anything that's that easy to get is not going to be built for longevity.
The things that take work, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Your job, your relationships, things that take work, that's built to last. And it's the same thing with the process. You're being built to last.
Yes.
Being built to sustain.
Adding tools to the toolbox.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of times the youth get frustrated because they define success a certain way. And for them, they see it through society's lens. So, the money, the cars, the fame, the girlfriend or the husband, just like Woman Crush Wednesday, post, all that kind of stuff. So how do you define success?
I define it by am I doing something worthwhile? I am so big on purpose, like, it's not even funny. That's one thing I love about what I'm doing in my job. Am I walking in purpose? Yeah. And I define success by walking in purpose. I define success by making a difference.
Yeah.
I don't define it by a paycheck. And I'm not just saying that. I don't either. I don't define it by a paycheck because there are a lot of people making a lot of money and there's a lot of unhappy.
Yeah, definitely.
So, trust me, your happiness is not linked to that success. It's not a direct factor. If you're walking in your purpose, if you're making a difference, for me personally, that's when I know that I'm being successful. And the people around me can see that, like, my relationships are healthy, that I'm communicating and all that, and I'm taking care of myself.
Yeah.
And I'm, building my health and my relationship with God. That's how I define success.
That's good. I always say, in relationships and in friendships, I believe a friendship is just like a relationship without the extra intimacy. But I always say there's non-negotiables. Like when it comes to building a connection or a friendship, do you have 3 or 4 or 5 non-negotiables that determine your friendships and your relationships?
Honesty, because I got to be able to trust you.
Yes.
So I'm just person, like, I don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just not about to sit here and lie to people. I can't. I'm a terrible liar. I wouldn't even get away with it, honestly. Like, I could try and they'd be like, okay, like, it all just shows all up in here.
All over your face.
Trust me, not a great liar. So yeah, that honesty, because I have to be able to build trust, support.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of hater friends, right? So you have the friends who are friends, but they're really like your haters. So you gotta have genuine support. And guess what? That support does not always mean you're being a yes man or a cheerleader. Sometimes that means that you're telling me it's a really bad idea.
Yes. Yes.
Like, if I can't trust you to tell me that my idea sucks,
it's not okay.
That's not okay.
Yes, men and women are not good for you.
That's the problem. That's the problem. People have way too many yes men and women.
Yeah.
And I gotta, that support also goes, like, when I am winning, like, celebrate with me. Like, cry with me when I'm not. Like, it's just so important. Trying to think if there's another one. I like for my friendship to have a relationship with God as well. Like, that's important.
Very.
That's important, because if I'm going through it and I ask you to pray for me, can I? Like, what I'm saying? So that's super important.
That's the foundation to your morals.
Yeah.
We can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't rock.
Equally yoked.
If you don't know God, if you're not in tune with sweet baby Jesus, we can't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I felt. That's how, that's the thing, the mutual thing with my friends. Like, we all have that relationship. And so with God, and so even when I was, dating, that was gonna be the number one thing I had to have.
Yeah.
So you are already in that practice, establishing that in your friendships.
Yeah. It will translate.
It will definitely translate.
Well, since we're talking about relationships, let me ask you this. Everybody asked Kiara and Russell, what was the exact prayer? Because some people need to know, like, what was the exact prayer that you prayed?
Funny.
To get to who you with now.
That is funny. You know what? It's more of a prayer where I was tired. Like, let me tell you something. It's different, because when I met him, my prayer was, well, God, if he ain't the one you got for me, just remove him.
Yeah.
let's not even go there.
Right.
I said, Lord, he gonna have to come up to me if that's the one for me.
Yeah.
If that's the one you have for me, he gonna have to step to me.
Right.
And he did. So, personally, I would pray for my spouse before I knew him. And I know people say that, but that's, like, I legit did that because I knew it was going to be something special, and I knew
Yeah.
he would need covering. You know, that's the one thing. Well, there's a lot of things I love about my husband, but one thing is that we have similar passions. We both just want to make a difference. We are very equally yoked in that aspect. We definitely we're passionate people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was my prayer. It was more about like, listen, Lord, you already know what I need, so
Yeah.
ain't it then.
But that's a whole key too, because like I think a lot of times we're trying to figure it out in our heads, like what I want. They have these lists and all these different things, but when you surrender it all to God, it
Surrender
always
it all.
comes.
Don't
Always.
no list, because
No list.
don't put God in a box. Don't
Nah.
do that. Like, don't, because you might say, I want this and I want this and I want him to, I don't know, like make this amount of money. So what if he made over? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't put God in a box. Say, Lord, just I want your best for me.
Yep.
That's
Lead me.
Lead me, and
Lead me.
let it go. Let
Yeah.
it go. I know it's a lot easier said than done to like not, you know, keep, to obsess about it. And I'm just ready, to be in a relationship. And I get it. I was there. I honestly
Mm-hmm.
was. But I just had to say, okay, Laura, I just want your best. That's it.
Right.
I was my impatience was pushing me to date people that weren't good for me.
Yeah.
And so I just had to say, all right, I'm falling back, like, and that's why with my husband, when I met him, I just was like, he's cool, but just, Lord, if he's for me, then you just take the reins.
Show me.
Exactly.
That's crazy. I think a lot of kids struggle with that because they want to be like their friends and they think these relationships are good, but they're not. But
it's more important to be in a healthy relationship than to be in a relationship.
yeah, and to know yourself before you get in one, because it won't last if you don't know who you are before you get into the relationship.
And I talk to a lot of my friends about that, because a lot of times, like, it might be God might not have brought you together yet because he might not be ready and you might not be ready. Like, literally,
Absolutely.
if you meet the right person at the wrong time, what good is that?
Right.
You have to both be ready. Like, my husband and I, we talk about that all the time. Like, what if we had met each other earlier? Like, neither of us would have been ready.
Nah.
We would not have been ready.
Not at all.
So God, it's all in God's timing, and he has the legit. When I met my husband, he was ready to settle down. I was ready to settle down. And so we were at this place where it was like, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. So.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people struggle because of the way they were brought up. Some of us didn't see, couples. Some of us were raised by a single parent, or some of us were very sheltered, or like just the way that we were brought up kind of influences the way that we move and the way that we act. So I can speak for myself I grew up in a single parent household, so I think that my antennas are always up. So I'm always like, red flag, red flag, red flag, I gotta get out. Like, so I'm very attentive to what's going on with every person that I deal with.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to say, because a lot of kids, they're just moving and they're not really thinking about who they associate themselves with. And that's not healthy.
It's not. It's not. Please do not do that.
Please.
Yeah.
I know that you told me that you wanted to share with them a letter from yourself to yourself.
I do. I was inspired to write a letter to myself at 22, because 22 was the age that I was about to embark on this.
Yeah.
So 22 was the age I just graduated college. I knew, and when you graduate from college, everyone's like, you're going to do such amazing things, and you're going to be this, and you're going to be great. And, your parents are all excited, and your friends, everyone's just like, for me, yeah, that was great. But for me, that put a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, now I need to act on now. I need to prove that, yeah, I need to prove everyone right. So it wasn't for me. Like, some people have the story where they want to prove everyone wrong. Like, I just wanted to prove everyone right. Like, that's a blessed position of privilege because I had a lot of support. But I just didn't want to let anyone down. And I still, as you know, in my 30s, like, I still just have this incessant desire just to not let anyone down. So that's a very instrumental age for me. And so this is the letter. So it says, "Hey girl, it's me. Well, you. A few weeks ago, you turned 31. So you're officially over 30, no longer flirting with your 20s. This is real. Believe it or not, so much has changed. Right now, you don't realize it, but that thought of failing and falling short of everything you dreamed you could do is a form of anxiety. I know you can't believe it, but it stretches from your brain all the way to your chest and to your stomach, and it keeps you up at night. This won't be the last time you experience it, but I promise you'll learn ways to live with it. You're on the brink of making some pretty big decisions, trying to figure out where to go and how to fast track your success. These decisions will ultimately determine your course of life. No pressure. But I don't have to tell you that the most important thing you could possibly do right now is depend on God. Mm-hmm. The road you will encounter will have bumps and give you bruises, but God will see you through each and every one of them, and He'll turn those bruises into victory wounds, reminders of where you've been and how far He's brought you. I won't tell you exactly where we've ended up right now at 31, because that's part of the journey, experiencing it in real time. But I will tell you, it's far greater than what you stay up all night imagining it could be. It's not perfect, but I can assure you, your family is healthy, you work from a place of purpose, and there's true, unimaginable love and adventure. Most importantly, we're still learning. We're learning that it's okay to not have all the answers, and we're learning to be okay with not always being in control. We have not yet arrived to the point where everything is figured out, and we're learning the probability of that happening is slim to none. Mm-hmm. Just like you then, you now must depend on God to direct your path while giving it everything you have and being okay with ambiguity. We're learning that this is the beauty of the journey. Trust God, trust yourself, and trust this process. The pieces fall together beautifully."
Oh, that was so nice. It's so true.
Yes, I mean, if I was thinking about it, like, if I found that letter at 22, the most for me then, like, yeah, the most important things would be like, okay, well, where did I end up? But also it would be, well, is my family healthy? Like, that would be like my thing that I thought about, like, wait, is my family healthy? And I wanted to adjust that. And, you know, again, that's part of the journey, is experience it all. Like, and even, I would write a letter to myself at 41.
Yeah.
No, 41. Well, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but, like, you have to experience it in real time. That's the beauty of it.
Right. I definitely agree with you. And I want to touch on what you said before you read the letter, when you said that you felt like you need to make everybody proud. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people can take that in different ways. Like, for me, I looked at it as a challenge. It wasn't as much of pressure for me, but I feel like I overworked myself. Just because, and it wasn't motivated by me. It was motivated by outside sources. Yeah. So clearly I burnt out because I relied on that. So I think it's important to say, regardless if it's your parents, your family, your friends, whoever, you cannot allow them to dictate what you do with your life.
Absolutely not.
They're not going to live the life for you, and they're not going to deal with the consequences of that life. So when it comes to moving, when it comes to choosing a career path, anything like that, you want to make sure you're choosing for you, because you have to see it through.
Absolutely. I mean, my mother just knew I should have been a lawyer. I don't know why.
Mama, lawyers don't make no money though, mama. Unless they trying.
Much respect to lawyers.
Yeah.
I admire them, but
I do too.
that was not my testimony.
Nah.
And you know, I think had it been up to her, she would have been like, well, don't leave, you know, stay in Milwaukee, stay close.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, And what happened? They came a year after me. They moved to Dallas. So the thing is, yes, like this, like, do it. Do it. Don't let anyone tell you what you should and shouldn't do. If you feel like God is telling you to do it, do it. Be obedient. Because at the end of the day, like you said, like people can't live your life for you.
True.
They just can't.
They can't. It's not even worth trying to do it.
Absolutely not.
It's not worth it.
It's not. You won't be. So you'll be living someone else's life and you won't be happy.
You won't.
But everyone else will be happy.
Yeah. They'll be happy and bragging on you and you miserable.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. And everyone, they'll come to.
Yeah.
They'll come to. They'll get on board.
They'll get on board.
Like, they'll be okay.
How did you initially though declare your independence? Like whenever you did leave, like was that your putting the flag in the ground? Like I'm independent now?
I tried to make that be my independence then. I don't know that was. I think I became independent when I started pushing back.
Yeah. When
you start saying like, Mom, I feel you, but that's not what I want to do, or I don't agree.
Yeah. I don't respectfully disagree.
Like start kind of changing that language. I think, because now you're establishing boundaries.
Yeah.
You're establishing, but guess what? Like that doesn't mean you love your parents any less. Like it truly does. It means that as an adult, you have to establish certain boundaries so that you can operate in the way that you feel or believe that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
It happens. Excuse me. It happens with every season of life. As a married woman, like when I have kids, it's just there are certain boundaries that you just have to establish. I love you so much. My love has not changed.
Yeah.
I think that is that's a process for both ends.
Yeah, it is. Somebody has to initiate it though. So
somebody has to initiate it.
Somebody has to.
If it goes uninitiated, there's going to be a discernible gap. Yeah, there's going to be this type of rift that starts to happen in the relationship because you are going to be drained.
Yeah, you are.
It's going to be feeling like you can't be your best self or live your best life because you haven't established that independence yet.
Yeah. So my last question for you is, if you knew then what you know now, what would be different? And if nothing would be different, I was about to say that's fine too.
Nothing at all. And that's the thing, like everything I've been through, layoffs, low pay. I've gone through a lot in the corporate world. Like everything, the moving, every little detail played a part in where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Literally, like we are in the middle of a pandemic. There's just so much going on.
Yeah.
Politically, racially, there's so much going on. But me personally, I can say that I am completely content and happy with my life. I love my job. I love my marriage. I love my family. Like I'm completely happy with that. And I know that everything that transpired in my life, whether it was good, bad, or ugly, or horrendous, it all played a part in what it is now. And I'm just so grateful to God, honestly. It's
absolutely
God. All glory to God.
All glory to God. I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time. This was good.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. I think this will help a lot of people, especially our little sheep.
I hope so. I hope so. Please understand, like, you're going to be fine. It's going to work out. Trust the process. Trust God.
Mm-hmm.
And just trust yourself that you're going to just heed to his plan, and that you're going to be exactly where you're supposed to be. That
Yeah.
if you are exactly where you're supposed to be, literally nothing else matters.
And you can't even mess it up.
You really can't.
You can't.
It's
It's
full.
foolproof. Yeah. You just
Like,
make the journey longer when you mess up.
like, you literally, if you decide to not to go different ways, you just gonna end up where you're supposed to be at
Yep.
just years later. So you
Yep.
can get there now, you can get there later, but you're gonna get there.
I will say this: you don't want to be in the wilderness for 40 years when you don't have to be. So y'all
Amen.
just be faithful and do what he asks you to do, and you'll be just fine.
And be calm. Just work on peace. Peace is work. It is work.
Oh yeah.
Work on it. That's every day. Just, God's grace and his mercy renews every day, and you have to work at peace every
Yeah.
single day, because this world, like, there's just so many things that get thrown at you on social media, rather that's thinking your friends going off and doing things, and you comparisons, and you feel like you should be doing more, but you don't know how, like that.
Because you shouldn't be.
Exactly. Throw it away.
Protect your peace.
Protect your peace at all costs.
And remember that it's so much bigger than you. So,
bigger.
Well, thank you again, sis. I will talk to you later.
Okay.
And you be blessed.
Thank you. You too, sis.
All right, bye.